Hey guys, Guillaume here for Drumbash, and I'm here today with Aaron Sterling himself. How are you, man?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Way out of my comfort zone.
I like it.
I'm
Good.
Hey, I think that makes me a good drum interviewer because talk to me like I'm 5 years old.
Yes, you just asked what you think are stupid questions, but they're actually probably very good questions. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to do exactly that, and we're talking about the DFX-1 today. That's your collaboration with Walrus Audio. What is it?
Okay, so the DFX-1 simply is an effects unit that is meant for microphones. It could be for anybody really, but we're focusing it on helping drummers out so that you could plug a mic straight into a box and it already has the effects. So very quickly, basically what drummers like to do, they love playing with pedals, but you have to go through a preamp. Yeah. Then you got to go through that radial orange box, the reamp box. Now you're going into pedals. Now you got to go back in the box. It's a nightmare. No one has ever made something that has the preamp, the channel strip, the phantom power for a mic, all that stuff, and the effects, and it's all the correct, instead of line level, mic level, all this crap, it's just done. Yeah. And so that's what it basically does.
Right, so it's an effects loop for drums and the effects are built in.
The effects are built in. There is a send and return. You could add 1 million pedals, but if you don't want to, you don't have to because we have everything in there. And we've designed the compression to sound like the good compression you want with drummers. The delays sound great on drums. Might be great on guitars, but they're catered a little bit more towards drums. Same with the reverbs, all of that.
Okay, sweet. So I see 4 sections,
yeah,
and 3 pads. How does that work?
So very quickly, you start here. Also, drummers think left to right. They don't think right to left. So when they made, I know you guys are so angry, but when we made it, they thought, and I said, no, it doesn't work that way for drummers. So it starts with compression. Then we have our delay choices, and we have 2 buttons for each. So here's 2 different compressions. Here's your delay, 2 different delays. Same thing with reverb. And then this is our master section: volume, EQ, curves, and saturation. And then we also have forward and reverse, meaning you can start with compression and put reverb after compression, or you can switch and do the exact opposite.
Okay. And then use the compression more of a studio kind of tool rather than just an, okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And so basically these are very simple. This is bypass. You can hit it with your finger, hit it with a stick. This is the preset toggle. We can actually save presets. You toggle between those. And then this is tap tempo.
Even I understand that. That's great.
This is for drummers. We're not very smart, so it's okay. Yeah.
What comes after 5 again?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
And so what mics do you run into it? Is it like, are you putting the kick, the snare? Are you putting everything in there? Or?
So that's the beautiful thing. When we did this, the idea was this needs to work if it's a mono overhead. It needs to work if it's a snare mic. It needs to work if it's a kick drum mic. If you limit it to one style, it's like not very versatile. So this can work for any kind of mic and any mic placement. Right. And that's the whole idea.
Beautiful.
So snare drum is great, but also like a U47 above the kit works great. It doesn't really matter.
How in what kind of settings have you got to experiment with it a bit? Like
everything. You can do the most saturated, dark sound. You can do a very thin sound with tons of delays and thin spring reverbs. You can do like an 80s gated reverb, like a fat sound. There's a million things. I use this every day in the studio, every day.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're using your experience for good and that you're bringing new stuff to the market. This is awesome, and I couldn't picture anybody else but Walrus to do that sort of thing with you.
I agree. We spent a year making this. Every single thing that we talked about was like, you guys are so cool. They had the best ideas, and any idea that I had that they thought might not work, they had another solution for. And they said, well, that's going to be crazy, but what? We could do this. They're an amazing company, man.
Yeah,
Amazing.
really good people. And so when you brought the idea and maybe the list of effects that we're going to go into that, did you base any of that on existing Walrus sort of circuits, or did they try and suggest, oh, maybe that for the saturation would be good? Or?
A little bit of both. There's a few things in here that, and I would let them speak to that better, but there's a few things in here that are a bit Walrus already.
Okay.
But what's cool is we had to cater it because, for example, the first delays they sent were way too high because it worked great for guitars. And I said, for drums, we don't like all those highs to keep going.
Yeah.
So things like that, we catered it towards drums, but it all started with the kind of the greatest hits of what they do, and then it changed to suit drums better.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I'm a big fan, and yeah, this is great to see that come out. Please check out the link in the description for pricing, for details, for everything else. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a great product.
Right?
Yeah.